Very good afternoon, everybody. Today we have assembled here for the outcome of an academic writing workshop. Today morning session, students have worked in the laboratory and done some work, and they are going to present the outcome of that work here. This academic writing workshop is specifically designed to improve the essay type answers which are written by students in university exams. In the university exams, they have to write descriptive essay type answers for English studies. They are handwritten answers. So in this session, we will see the hybrid mode of analysis of this handwriting. In the first part, we will have two faculty members, Prakruti Madam and Megha Madam, sharing the analysis, error analysis, which they have found while evaluating the answer books, which were handwritten by the students. After their error analysis presentation, we will have students presenting their error analysis, which they have done with the help of AI. So this hybrid mode is human error analysis and then artificial intelligence error analysis. We hope the outcome will be that the students will do a self-learning out of this, and somewhere they will find the gap to improve the quality of writing. With the advancement of artificial intelligence, the threat that is now being pursued by everybody is to the cognitive abilities of the learners. Everything is quickly generated, everything is given in with such a speed that the cognitive abilities are failing to cope up with the speed. We require a slow process of learning if we want to retain it for a longer duration of time. And the speed of artificial intelligence is coming as a threat to all the learners. So if we do the hybrid where the handwritten things are there, and then it is analyzed by both humans as well as artificial intelligence, the students or learners might have a better opportunity to see that where they need to improve also. So first, let us request uh, teachers to present what they have found as a part of error analysis.
Audible? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So can you switch on the presentation, please? Yeah, so in the previous term, what we did was during the academic writing workshop, we highlighted some of the mistakes which you all were committing while writing the answers. And this was the next slide, please. This was the first list of points which we gathered, basically problem areas where you needed to work on. The first one was coherence, that is logical sequencing of thoughts. There you move from introduction to the major discussion of the points and then towards a conclusion. And that is where our concern was that previous semester, a lot of students were making mistake in coherence, and that is the logical sequencing of the answer, which now has improved. So I'll come back to that, how it has improved. But for now, this was the first point of our concern in the previous academic term. Second was with the idea of integrated whole or cohesiveness. Cohesiveness in the sense that you know a lot of things, right? You do know the main points, but you don't know how to make it a complete answer. In that case, you know the factual details, you also know the critical discussions, but to connect them all together and have an integrated whole, that was one of the, again, a challenge for you in the previous term. Then there was some formal issues like grammar, for example, is, are, this, they, so on and so forth, spelling errors and all those things. Another was the idea issue with presentation. So a lot of people, since we are during exams, common, a normal experience is that you are too much conscious about what you know and what you have to answer, right? The question in front of you, that sometimes you just start writing and keep on rambling on, and that's a very normal human tendency, right? And therefore, what used to happen is presentation suffers, right? Because you have so much to tell, so much to write. So then you might not worry a lot about how it appears to a particular reader. But so then that was also highlighted in the previous academic term when you were writing the answers. And therefore we suggested some of the things for this particular purpose: grammar as well as presentation. And to improve grammar, we suggested that you do a lot of language exercises, right? You try to write your answers by yourself. You write it in your own words and see if you're committing the same mistakes, spelling errors, grammatical errors, so on and so forth, right? With the presentation, we suggested you that you try, with writing practice, the presentation will also improve, in the sense that you will draft the answer in such a way that it will have a definite introduction, a definite beginning, and the conclusion proper, and a proper structure also. Along with that, we also suggested you that you try to highlight the main points of your answer, right, of your response to the question, with either underlining the particular point there, or using a different pen, so on and so forth. So all these suggestions were given in the previous term. And the final challenge, or rather final problematic area in the previous term, was with time management. So some of you are writing brilliant answers with perfect language usage, proper structure also, good presentation also, but you are not able to complete the answer, right? And that is again a very common situation, common challenge faced by many students, right? So then we suggested that you do a lot of writing practice again. In for that also, right, you put a timer and sort of write things down by hand manually, and see how much time does it take for you to write one answer, and then try to monitor how much time it will take you for you to attempt the entire paper from the first question to the last. And so a lot of activities, or some of initiatives, were designed in this term, right, to address these challenges. Previously, we discussed these points with you with proper examples from each one of your answer sheet, right? We also gave you where exactly your challenges are. And then we in when this term began, we started with the idea of one, that was group discussion, right? So from the very first day, it was planned out that for each unit within the paper, you will have some sort of peer discussion after the unit was completed. So then each one of you can share whatever you have gathered from the lecture, and whatever you have written down in your notebooks, and then share it with your peers, your classmates. So then each one of you has at least a common plane for discussion, for writing the answers, right? And I think that has helped you a lot. So while we were assessing the written answers this time in this semester, we found really good improvement in particularly those students who were lagging behind, or who were finding it a bit difficult to even understand the story, or to even learn the basic critical concepts of. So for example, in post independence Indian English literature, a lot of people were initially finding it difficult to write about, let's say, Radhakrishnan views on Hindu view of life, or even for that matter critical analysis of Kamala Das's introduction, or Mahesh Dattani's critical analysis of the riots and all those things, post feminist criticism, and these points. Initially, when lectures concluded, right, there were many blank faces in the classroom, and a lot of people, actually, we had to revise it in the next lecture. We had to revise that these were the points which we covered, right? But when you wrote, like after the group discussion which we had for these initial units, particularly the first unit consisting of the selected poems by Pravin Gadvi and Nassim Ezekiel and all those poets, you had a group discussion for that particular unit. And then what the outcome was actually reflected in the answers which you wrote this time. So this time when I assessed the first unit answers, all of yours, right, 31 people in the classroom, everybody's answers were in a way coherent, in the sense that step by step the answer was designed from introduction of the writer or poet to the central analysis to the conclusion. So all of the answers were coherent in that case. A formal structure was formed. Cohesiveness was also there, because you understood the the important points within that particular question to be addressed, right? You were at ease with writing, right? You were not confused, that is, right? So then therefore a lot of you, even those people who found it difficult to do it in the previous semesters, were actually able to do it this time, right? Because you had a discussion with your peers and you knew what points you need to include in this particular question, so on and so forth. So then cohesiveness was also maintained this time. Grammar was better, although there are still some challenges, right? Still some challenges in some of the students answers. Overall, on an average, grammar has improved, language has improved, even when it comes to spelling errors and grammatical tense errors, right? So those things have improved this time. Then when it comes to presentation also, a lot of you have now started using infographics, which you were not doing in the previous semester. A lot of you have also started highlighting or underlining important points in your answers, which you were not doing previously. So then all these things are good improvement in your answers this time. And then finally, with time management, well, that is one thing which perhaps is not humanly ever possible, but we do find good progress in that area also. A lot of you have successfully written all the answers and done justice to each answer in that case, right? Although there are still some cases where time management poses a huge issue, and that is well obvious to do. But when it comes to the university examinations, well, there you don't have understanding people there, so there you will have to see to it that you finish all the answers on time and you don't miss out, at least in questions like multiple choice questions, right? MCQs are, as I said previously also, that MCQs are in a way your currency. So don't miss out. Prepare the best. Make sure that you earn the score from MCQs. A lot of that was also one observation this time, that a lot of students who are struggling with descriptive answers are scoring very well in the MCQs, and they have ensured that they do score full marks in the MCQs, so that even if they like sort of lose marks in the next sections of descriptive answers, they can actually score well enough to pass, or well enough to have a final good score, right? So then those are in my opinion some really good improvements in this semester's answer sheet. To discuss the things further, I'll now invite Megha ma'am.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Prakruti ma'am, for sharing such a beautiful information, which will help a lot to students. Before we can say discuss this point, I would like to share something, my personal observation. Based on your last internal exam result, as mentioned by Prakruti madam, this time we conduct a new experiment in your class. We organized GD, means group discussion, and we can say unit test. So after completion of every unit, we did that. Okay, specifically we covered these two new aspect only, we can say, in paper 201 and 202, but the same thing we cannot do, or we can say we couldn't, because of the time constraint. But because of these two experiments, GD and class test, personally I found that you all, we can say, get a good score in this semester in your answer sheets. Okay, so specifically which good things, or we can say good improvements in which particular areas, I can find it out. That first I would like to share with you that so many students, okay, mostly all of you have, we can say, improved your content compared to the last semester. This time we both can find it out that your content is really good, okay, in your answer. Again, presentation style also improved. Most of you have added infographics in your answer sheet, as well as answer organization was also good. And many students have added original lines from the poems, good dialogues from the play, as well as some important line and quotations from the novel. So that is also a one good positive point. And again, very major point is that good improvement in your language compared to previous two semester. We can find it out that a good improvement in your language. Okay, so these are the positive points. Now, some students did same mistake again. They wrote a very general answer. Okay, so just try to write a critical analysis for we can say the question. Okay, so for that you have to read a lot. Okay, do writing practice. As Madam discussed very beautiful points earlier, let's discuss some of the other remaining points that on which particular areas you have to focus more for your, we can say, the university exam. So the first one is that attempt all the questions and MCQs. Most of you have attempted all the questions, but 2 to 3 students have not do the same thing. Okay, so if you have written only 3 answers, then you cannot get a full marks. Okay, so just try to manage your time and try to, we can say, attempt all 4 questions and MCQ. As mentioned by Madam, that in paper 201 and paper 202 you have we can say scored well in the MCQs, but in the post colonial paper most of you have not scored well. Only 2 to 3 marks you can get out of 5. Only one student I remember that she we can say got 5 out of 5 in the post colonial paper. So just try to focus more on MCQs to cover more marks in university exam as well. Then write a correct question number. No need to write, we can say, the full question, because you have to manage time in exam, but just try to write a proper correct number. For example, question 1A, if you are writing, then you have to write question 1A. If you just wrote question number 1, then what question we can understand? Okay, so that you have to focus more on that particular point. Then start new questions from the new page. Okay, so these minor things but very important that you have to remember. Then improve your handwriting. 2 to 3 students we have in this semester, they are very good with the content, very good with the presentation, very good we can say critical analysis as well, but because of their, we can say, the right writing, okay, they lost their marks. Okay, so just try to, we can say, improve your handwriting, and that thing only you can do with the help of practice. Okay, so daily you can just write one answer. In a way you can read and you can write, so practice makes man perfect. So this thing you have to do. Then stick to the question. This point is again a very important. Why? Because I remember that in the post colonial paper, in the question number I think 2, one question you have that you have to explain the chapter number 5 from the wretched of the earth. So some students have written general summary of wretched of the earth. Okay, in that particular questions you have asked that you have to mention chapter number 5 in detail. So just try to focus on that. So what a question that you have to read carefully and just try to focus more on that, that I have to write particular these information from that particular novel or the non-fiction work. Again, right now I am just try to focus more on that. Wretched of the earth is a non-fiction, not a novel. So that genre also you have to remember, what is play, what is the novel, what is the poetry. You all know, I know, but because of, we can say, the unconsciously or the time management or the exam pressure, you did such a kinds of silly mistakes. But don't do the same thing in the university. Then add examples, again a very important point. Okay, don't just try to mug up only the things where the same thing you can find it out in the study material website, but remember that you have to prepare a class note, and you have. Okay, so just try to mention some of the examples from the, we can say, class notes in your we can say the answer sheet. For example, in the Dinodan poem, we discussed about the Ayodhya. Okay, Ayodhya temple. So you can mention that one example. Okay, so these kinds of other information will help a lot to, we can say, score high. Okay, and that represent that you are a regular students, you have attended all the classes, and you are different from the external students. So these thing also you have to remember. Just try to prepare the class note, and if you have prepared, then add some of the examples from that class notes. Then avoid spelling errors. Okay, remember major names, major critical terms. Okay, for example, Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak, so in that you don't have to write, or we can say some of you have written spark. Okay, so these kinds of thing please don't do. You have to remember very well. For example, specifically in the post colonial paper, some terms and some, we can say, the words are very difficult, lumpen proletariat and all these things, so you cannot properly pronunciate as well, but you can write properly. So spelling you have to remember. Okay, and then the last thing, and again a very important, that do writing practice. Okay, throughout the semester we all are using a laptop and the mobile phone, but for the university exam your hand will help. Okay, so you have to do writing practice. So for that, again the same thing I think you did in your 10th and 12th, you have done practice paper. Okay, you have written some papers, so the same thing you can do here as well. Daily 1 to 2 questions you can write. Okay, you have to spend only 1 hour for that. So these will help a lot to enhance your academic writing skills. So that is from my side. Thank you all of you, and best wishes and best of luck for your university exam. Thank you.
Okay, so before we ask students to present their outcome, a brief background of that activity. Let me share. Yeah. So the context of this second part of our today's this live stream is now students analyzing with the help of AI this different works. So the task that was given to the students, it was a group activity, and they have to first of all even count the words uh, uh, of their handwritten answers. So they exactly come to know in how many words, in how many pages they are supposed to write, and they are actually writing also. Then they were told to analyze two answers, one long answer and one short answer, with the help of generative AI, and do a group activity and come up with the final outcome. Uh, this all QR codes were shared with the students to submit their outcome. Okay? Uh, when we talk about AI, we are aware that there are different ways in which AI has been used or misused also. Pedagogical strategy, when we try to look at, we see that it can help in one-to-one tutoring with generative AI, or it can help, number 4, in assessment and feedback, and 6th, continuous improvement. Today's students' outcome will try to throw light on first and fourth point, that is one-to-one tutoring and assessment and feedback. So how they got their answers being assessed by generative AI, and what feedback they have received. That is what the students are going to share. If they continue doing this practice, then number 6 can be materialized, that is continuous improvement can become more viable also. When we see this, we know that lots of talks about negative talks around chat GPT and generative AI are also there, which also is being observed to a greater extent. And one example we also will see, that how all this false promise of chat GPT, as Noam Chomsky had said, or the difference between true intelligence and artificial intelligence, that all are also very significant and important thing. And we got one example today also from your activity, where we can say that how when we use artificial intelligence, we are failing to use our natural intelligence also at many cases. So some of you made that mistake also, which we'll try to highlight. But what we want to see is this third layer, green color, individual tutoring plus mastery learning, that in a lesser time, more achievement can be done instead of lecturing and mastery learning pedagogical methods. So keeping this in mind, these all activities were designed. These are the works that previous years students have done. And we have seen that we are getting a good analysis and good result of descriptive answers. So we continue with this workshop activities also. We keep on revising the prompt that is necessary to get the best result from AI. So this time we have a rather long prompt, which was divided in two parts. One prompt was based on BAWE, that is at a global level accepted standard for academic written English. It is known as British Academic Written English Corpus. So BAWE corpus parameter was used, and it was suggested that the answer should be checked in context of BAWE. Second one was MKBU. We have our own rubric also for descriptive answers, which, as both the madams discussed, that when we manually see the answers, what we find. So that is localized rubric. Local. BAWE is for the British. Our local students have a different problem. So un-English writing happens a lot. Un-English. Now, it is difficult to find what is the mistake in that. You find that this is not English, but what is the problem with that English is very difficult to find. That is called un-English one. So correctness of English language is a big problem. So there it is. Content, how the content can be improved, wherein we see that quotations from text, critics, if they are given, then it improves the quality, and the organization, how you are entering into the answer, and then how you take an exit, how you conclude your answer. Those are our local parameters there. Now, what problem we have seen, this was given to you in the form, and you were told to copy paste it. But when you try to copy paste, you also have to apply some intelligence. Like here, there was an example of George Orwell's Animal Farm, which should be replaced by your question. Some of you did, some of you didn't do that. So in your response, you might be seeing George Orwell, Animal Farm, which might be surprising to you also, that from where has George Orwell come here? Why, what is George Orwell doing here? That is where our natural intelligence is failing in using artificial intelligence. So we have to be very careful. Whatever work we are doing, we have to read it, edit it, and then you have to give a prompt. Otherwise, some 7 or 8 students have made this mistake, wherein in your response, you might have come across the example of George Orwell. Those who worked with Marxist criticism and applied this, it worked well because it goes well with that text. So it becomes a good example. But in other cases, it was very awkward to see that what is it doing in film studies or other questions. So this is one example that we see. We have to be very cautious, extra alert when we use this. Otherwise, people will obviously say that you are good in using the tool, but you fail to use your natural intelligence when you work with the tools. So this was the context, and you have submitted your work. And then now let us see what work you have done, and then we'll come to the final summary part of this. So now let us see what students have to present here.
So good afternoon, everyone. In the essay type answer analysis workshop, we 6 of us in the one group, and we done the activities with the help of ChatGPT. Next. So here is the evaluation by the ChatGPT, that what kind of improvement we need we have to need in our exam paper. So first is the strength and weakness. So frequent reception of simple structure. So in the answer paper, it is more use of helpful for us and useful for us. So ChatGPT suggests us to rather the helpful for us, useful for continuously uses, rather than you have to use this beneficial or advantages, instrumental, authentic, reliable. So you have to that type of word you have to use in your you have to use in your exam paper. So and Next. Here also this improve the grammar and sentence structure. You have to give the specific examples with related with your answer, and you have to organize your answer very well, and then you have to maintain a formal academic tone and critical analysis you have to done. So these activities very important for us to improve our exam paper or answer in our in next university examination. So for the further, I would like to invite Krupali.
So, as per this evolution, it suggests that you identify terms and examples are correctly, but it needed the analysis for descriptive. It looks descriptive rather than critical, and it suggests the improvement in go beyond definitions, or not only explain definition but explain techniques, why these techniques are matter. Use lighting, and it also suggests that add a brief thesis statement in introduction, and in this it suggests some strengths and weaknesses. So these areas to improve, it suggests use of formal academic language, instead of using these like words. So in this way, use to sum up like that academic words, then give a clear definition into introduction, that what you are going to show in your answer. Then explain how and why meaning changes between frames, and add transition and linking words like these. For example, it gives therefore, for instant, and moreover. And then it also suggests to improve grammar and sentence structure, and also use film theory like juxtaposition, montage, perception, and viewer interpretation. So for further, I would like to invite Rosemin.
In help of the chat GPT, I will show grammar, sentence structures, and some of the part of vocabulary to suggest that use a word like helpful. You can use a word helpful, but in the next time you can use the word like a beneficial, advantage, and use the authentic and verifiable all time. In academic tone and style, they give me advice that avoid the uh, avoid the that before every sentence. I also make this mistake in my paper also, and I write that Marxist criticism give by Karl Marx. They give me advice that not use that type of, you use the academic writing style that for example, use the Marxist criticism developed by the ideas of Karl Marx, and give me a advice to need grammatic and making discipline a specific terminological and terminologicals, and show my ideology and hegemonies in my present. So I would like to invite Khushim Goswami for the next.
Okay, so the previous slide, you can put the previous slide. You can see that the grade level and even percentage is also given. Yeah? So you will see that you are getting more marks when the humans are checking your papers. If AI is checking your final papers, then what will be the result? That you can see that humans are more sympathetic to you rather than the AI one.
These are the name of our group 2. And next. So here I gave my 10 marks question to the Claude AI, and he analyzes my answer. So first of all, it asked me to introduction is to belief and lack of clear thesis statement. So when I wrote my answer, I feel like it is enough for enough for these content is enough for these 10 marks. But when I show is like I feel it is only basic, not in deeper, or not as a not proper for the 10 marks. So here it gave me an example. So I wrote he can't agree with traditional way of, so about Derrida, and it gave me a improvement also. So how I can write my answer, like Derrida challenge is conventional, and how I can improve my presentation of answer through this activity. So there is how I can get more score in the answer. So according to my answer, it is score me 5 out of 3 out of 5. And what are my weakness is superficial analysis, then no engagement with application. And according to BAWE rubric, student should analyze why, how, and just what. So through these we can get more marks and give a justification of the answer. So here one is more important, how we can cite source in our handwritten answer. We also used to cite in the blog and slide also, but how we can cite in the handwritten answer is most important. So here it gave one example. So through these we can improve our quality of answer. So these are the most important outcomes from this activity. For further, I would like to Smruti Vade.
So this is my answer, and the suggestions that ChatGPT have given me are the organization of the answer. As my answer had the clear structure and proper grammar in some at some extent, but it lacks the cohesiveness, that how to properly combine all the details and in engaging way. Then the second is content of the answer. As I have put the examples, but I forgot to give the implications of the examples, that how this example is related to this topic and other things. And then the last one is the correctness of the language, that is lacking in my answer because of my uh, uh, time limit. I lack the time management in my writing my answer. So it has the issues of proofreading, that if we have time we can proofread our answers, and then we can correct our spelling issues and other things. So and the major issue in this semester, I have found that the my answers had the awkward phrasing, like more of quotation marks and etc. So the full stop and other things were less, and uh, the issue of awkward phrasing was there. So this was from my side. Now I would like to call Krishna Baraya for further.
So good afternoon, everybody. During this workshop, uh, when with the help of AI, I generate my strength and weakness of my question paper. So in this AI give me strength, that your understanding is that means you are aware about your point which you select to write. Then your logical structure is well. Then
you put a relevant example like Charles Dickens novel in this click. So and it's also described that effort in academic style, you used suitable academic words like analysis, evaluation, repetition, theme, focus of author, etc. It's also describe a second side of our writing, the like weakness. So it's described that you don't go too deep. So when I write my example of Charles Dickens novel in click, so I think that it's good for me, and it's very I think it's needed, and it's good for my answer. So but in the weakness, AI it's also suggests me that you don't go too deep, that that means example of you just write that Charles Dickens novel, not name of novel. So need to deepness of your work. Then limitation of explanation, then lack of detailed examples, which I explain here. So that was a great we can say that was a good suggestion for me to write university exam paper. So that's from my side. Thank you so much. I would like to invite student of group 3 students.
For this group, you can come to that slide where citation was given. Yeah? Now, this is not necessarily required in the answer papers. This is normally for, because BAW is for thesis writing also. So in thesis writing, it is a proper style, but in answer, because it is too heavy burden on memory. To remember page numbers or proper citation is unnecessary burden on the memory. So there is no need to. Important years, if you can remember, you can write, but no need to put such citations as such. Name of the works can be given. Some phrase, if you can remember, you can use in double inverted comma. The center is not the center. Like double inverted commas are used for phrases. The entire quotes in paragraphs. Also, there is no need to memorize that. Okay, next group.
We have 6 students in one group. So next. So first is structure and organization. So in this answer, we can see that this structure is well, but we have to add more points in this answer also. Like in the answer, we can see that reading, writing, and researching literature. So it gives a better understanding that we have to add some more points on that. And also we can find that first begin to end, we have to write accordingly, that what is the question and which we have to write in this. So for first beginning to end, we can see that how to write and add some points and like charts, and also we can make our answer very better. Next. Then we have a use of evidence. So here first strength point is that use example of Shakespeare's Hamlet. So using example is very important, that you can connect this answer to the another work also. So that is the strength point we can find here. And we have this knowledge that which information we have to write in this answer, but we cannot merge with the answer. So that is the lack in answer also. So and next point, we can see that a limited use of connectors like moreover, thus, and consequently. So we use just the and so, and many words we can use, but not these words. So that is the lacking of
words in our answer. So that is from my side. Now I would like to invite Sanket Babadia.
Hello everyone. So through this activity, BAW corpus activity, I learned how to write an effective answer for a university exam. And through this activity, we have give our answer to AI, BAWS corpus rubric, and AI give our evaluation of our answer. The first is a strength and areas for improvement in our answer. So this answer about the digital humanities, and it gives the strength and areas of improvement in answer. The in the strength areas, AI suggests that uh, give the good use of digital humanities, reading, writing, and research in digital humanities, and it suggests that areas for improvement like use of grammar and sentence structure, like use of proper grammar and capitalization error. So in our answer we using grammar, but we make somewhere a mistake in a grammar, and somewhere we also make mistake in a capitalization in a answer writing. So it's give a suggestion for AI. And punctuation and vocabulary. So we also use to punctuation in our answer for make effective effective answer. And we have to use academic vocabulary for our answer writing. So somewhere we have a lots of word for write a good answer in academic writing, like we have a lots of word and lots of vocabulary, like informal vocabulary and formal vocabulary. So in our answer we have to use formal vocabulary for in our answer writing. It's better for your answer. And academic tone. So in our answer we have to use academic tone and avoid the mistake of conversational tone and personal expression. And it's give example like it's our original writing in our answer, and AI give the revised version of how we have to write answer. Next. And another thing is academic tone and style. So as I mentioned earlier, that we have to avoid the conversational and personal experience in our answer writing. So it's observation. AI suggests that the tone is informal and conversation, and we have to use vocabulary and basic repetitive, and we have to use a proper punctuation mark for answer. And it gives us a recommendation for like use replace the phrase with academic lexis, and avoid the complex sentence. And in our answer we have to use a simple and clear sentence, so paper checker can clear understand our answer. And it's give the BAW benchmark example in our answer example. So this is from my side. Now I would like to invite Devangini Vyas.
So this question is about a click project. So ChatGPT find it more analytical. So major issue is your answer does not analyze the theme, especially not an theme. You only explain tools, not interpretation, not critical significance. Or missing things is no connection to author style, like Dickens' patterning of emotion in words. No explanation of why click is important for textual interpretation, and no development of ideas. So the answer remains descriptive, not analytical. So ChatGPT found this. Thank you. For more further information, I would like to invite Mansi Joshi. So in group 4, we are 6 members. So in this paper, as both ma'am mentioned, that we all followed clear, organized answer and the pattern. But we can see in the weaknesses. So unconsciously, we not mention the proper article before the spelling. So it's the missing, and the capitalization. So it's also the major missing, like if we mention any name or any city or any country, So we have to we have to mark this weakness. And sentence structure. So sometimes we use a very long sentence structure, and we not clearly show our idea what we want to write in paper. Next. So in this also, like weakness is that limited originality, and not that much refer writers or any idea of major writer. And also, as sir mentioned, that we mostly give time to our answer, but conclusion is remaining part in our answer sheet. So it is also the major weaknesses of most of the students. Next, Anishtha.
Thank you, Mansi. So here the question for digital tools, use of digital tools. So here the ChatGPT analyzed that the more strength areas are that you understand gesture and all those things which are the authentic, Shodh Ganga, and which are authentic that you understand. But the weakness is that you not clear cut give idea here, because many are accept the traditional way rather than the digital tools also. So here not that clear cut comparison, comparative analysis of that traditional ways and here digital ways. So it's a lack in the answers, and it also gives suggestion also, because in many times mostly students do this, they summarize spark notes or summaries. So sometimes the articles also are important, because of in the reference of some articles in our answer also needed rather than mostly summary. Next. Here also the answer of that short note of feminism. So in that way also the concept is that content is good, effort is also good, but some grammar mistakes, spelling mistake errors are there. But here the also suggestion for that use some articles also, because in feminism there are many works and also article also, so use that forms in here. So that is from my side. Now I would like to invite Drupti.
So in this answer copy, ChatGPT suggested that strength areas are that ideas are understable, the main concept is clear, but attempted use of academic term, pedagogy, digital tools and research, but weaknesses are frequent grammatical mistakes and punctuation errors also there. Unclear or incomplete sentence structure is there, and limited and repetitive vocabulary also used here. And this another copy, answer copy here. Strength areas is understand the main concept also, and provided relevant examples for it. And answer has basic structure and a clear introduction, body and conclusion parts all are there. And but weakness is like as earlier mentioned, several spelling mistakes and grammatical errors, as earlier mentioned, informal tone also, and concept like hypertext and pedagogical shift mentioned but not clearly explained. And suggested to use a scholarly definition also. And paragraph bit lacks this depth and smooth transition between ideas. And again sentence are also unclear and incomplete. So for further, I would like to invite a next group.
So here is the list of our group member. So in this answer copy, we find a strength as a demonstrate a solid understanding of Derrida's main concept, except to connect theory with literary example, show genuine engagement with philosophical idea. So this is strength, and we see the area for improvement. So we find no, uh, uh, refine grammar and punctuation for clarity. So we find the lack of punctuation mark and some spelling error. Then strengthen argumentation by analyzing rather than summarizing. So it has the clear idea about concept, but it lacked the analysis. Then include direct textual evidence and critical quotation, improve transition and coherence between paragraph. So it also show the final grade. Next. In this paper, when we see about the strength, strength in conceptual clarity, relevance, structure, and critical intention and terminology. So these are basically overall it is good. But when we look for the suggestion, then correctness of English, so basic grammar and vocabulary need revision for accuracy. Because when we are writing a answer, and at that time we are in stream of consciousness, so we lack lots of things. Then about content, so limited conceptual explanation, lacks textual or critical support. Then organization wise, so structure, but lack flow and argumentative coherence, and it give a overall bend that mostly descriptive, lack critical engagement and expected in academic essay. And another activity done about the word count. So at that time I realized, I believe that the 4 page are enough to write 10-mark question, but I count the word. That time I find that I require 5 pages to complete my answer. So this is from my side. I would like to invite Tanvi Mehra for further information.
So I use GPT to analyze my answer, and it showed how some weaknesses and strengths. Weaknesses include how I am doing some basic mistakes like vocabulary, spelling errors, repetition, and especially in using academic language, proper structure, and critical discussion in writing. Next. This feedback highlighted that a clear understanding of the topic, use relevant vocabulary like Project Gutenberg, Google Scholar, and AI tools, and organize the ideas with headings and paragraphs. However, it pointed out the frequent grammar, spelling, and sentence structure errors, and along with inconstant punctuation, and use articles from this. I learn. I learned the importance of writing in full grammatically correct sentences, and maintaining a formal academic tone through careful proofreadings. So now I would like to invite Divya.
Through AI Chat GPT, we analyze our answer sheet. So here we find a structure and organization of the essay need improvement, like introduction, no clear definition, montage mixed with general film study idea, then made mistake like organization idea not in order, then content is not as a basic thing, then language and conclusion. So ChatGPT suggests us start with a clear definition of montage, and use of a short paragraph or definition, example and conclusion, as mem says, and add one strong example like here ChatGPT says Rocky or Einstein's mountains, then use academic words like symbolize, represents, conveys, and end with through a thoughtful conclusion about its importance in film. Then here this paper is about the core principle of Marxist criticism. So argumentation and critical analysis. It says this paper is my and I made mistake about reference to Hard Time and George Orwell's Animal Farm. And my weakness is summarize the concept, but don't apply them critically to Animal Farm. And theorist section needs correction, like Alfred Hitchcock is not a Marxist theorist. Replaced with Louis Althusser or Raymond Williams. And it suggests me integrate at least one quotation from Orwell and one from critic Terry Eagleton. So this was from our side. Thank you.
Okay, so provided that if you work on all these things, then there will be slowly and steadily improvement in your writing. If you are conscious when you write that these mistakes I don't want to commit, and I want to replace this with this kind of connectors or these examples, then it will surely help in improving your answers. In conclusion, to see the summary of your responses. So what common pattern we have found in all the responses that you have submitted with the help of generative AI? I have tried to summarize that what is a pattern that is visible in students' output when they do the self-assessment things. Okay? So 3 points we are getting. One is a good point. We see here there is key strengths that is found among all the answers, is that students are generally doing well. Overall finding suggests that students show a good foundational understanding of the core concepts and definitions required by the prompt. So your answers fundamentally are correct. There are concerns like normally at PG level we do not see that, but in UG level we find that in answers sometimes the stories of television series or films are given instead of writing an answer, or there is the language where it is written in English but it is Hindi language or Gujarati language. Most of those errors. So here we find that we do not see such errors. So foundational understanding is displayed and the answer structure also is in a way well organized. Basic structure is good. So in most of the answers there is introduction, there is body, there is conclusion part. Conceptual grasp, essays demonstrate a solid understanding of definitions of key terms. So from film studies to Derrida, Marxist principles, eco-criticism, that was very well explained in your answers. Relevant examples also many of you have given, and those who have not given, you are suggested that, but by and large, the examples were relevant also. The primary gap that we find in this first observation is the analysis consistently shows a significant gap between defining a concept and using it analytically in an academic context. So you are aware about it, but analytically you are not able to write about it. So how you critically deal with that topic, how you analyze that topic, that is lacking. And there are several linguistic markers for analysis. When you say nonetheless, moreover, by and large, then you are trying to analyze that particular sentence. So BAWE corpus tries to see, are you using such words? Then you are countering what you are writing. Then this linguistic markers will tell that what you have done is not analyzed in corpus analysis. But if you have used such words, then it is believed that you might have analyzed the thing, because those words are not found in your answers. It will say that analytically it is lacking. Second, two gaps are found. Second one is critical gap 1, analysis and evidence. So description versus analysis. The most common weakness across all essays is that they are descriptive rather than analytical. Students successfully explain what a theory is, but fail to analyze how it functions in a text or why it matters. The writing relies on summary and shows limited analytical depth. So you'll have to see how you can work on that. In the same thread where you have found the analysis, you can ask again to how to write analytically good answer, your own answer, and then you will try to get that, and then again compare what was lacking in your answer, and you can fulfill this gap. Then missing textual evidence. This obviously, because in criticism it is still difficult. If had it been the paper of Indian literature or any literary text only, then there might have been more textual evidence from what you are writing. But in literary theory and criticism, it is always difficult to connect with the textual evidence. So this weakness we can understand in this paper. Virtually no essays use direct quotations from the primary text to support the claims. There is a complete absence of scholarly references, which we have said that is not required. Scholarly reference is not required in answer writing. Some illustrations are superficial. You have identified the example, it is good. But how well you explain that example, that is superficially done. So it is not explored in depth. So even though examples of Waiting for Godot, Animal Farm are very well connected in some of the answers, like in Marxist study or in Derridian reading, but still in-depth analysis to connect the example back to the theory to prove a point was lacking. So you have to again come back and say, so you justify so and so thing. So you come back and say that that's how you prove your point in the subsequent paragraphs and in conclusion also. And finally, the critical gap number 2, academic writing mechanics, which is based on the second rubric. First one was from the BAWE rubric. This is from MKBU rubric. Informal academic tone. The pervasive issue is a conversational, informal, and not like writing style. Students struggle to adopt the objective, formal, and precise tone required for academic essays. And now in many of the cases it was told that don't use I, first person, we, us was suggested in some of your responses, and it was told that use third person. Now this again is a point of conflict. Many people say it is allowed, there is no problem with that, but a standard practice is to write in third person. But today, if there is a question where it is told that write from your experience about using digital tools or this, then you will obviously tell that I have used, we have done this also. So that suggestion should be taken with careful understanding that this was deliberately done, so there is no need to improve on that. Language and grammar. Frequent and consistent errors in grammar, spelling and syntax significantly detract from clarity. So this is a big problem about use of basic language and grammar structure. This use of articles are incorrect, awkward also, and un-English sentence structures are also found. There are many common errors which Indians make, Indians when they use, and those all common errors are also found. But once those common errors are identified, if you work on that, there are books also now written on common errors in English language, which the native speakers don't do, but anybody who is a second speaker of the language will obviously make such mistakes. Like in Gujarati, when we say team ma hovu, so we'll obviously write I am in the team. But the correct English will say you will have to write I am on the team. So this will be very difficult for the Indians or their first language, which is obviously translated in the mind and will create several problems. So we have to be very careful about that. You can think of a special prompt for that by asking that I am an Indian student, and Indians do make several common errors in writing. Are there such common errors identified in my answer? Then maybe it will help you identify the common errors made by Indians in your answer also. Then last point, weak coherence and flow. While the basic three-part structure is present, that is introduction, body part, and conclusion, essays lack flow. Paragraphs are disconnected, abrupt, and read like a list of isolated points. So paragraph should be connected with, there is a flow. You go from one point to another, and when you are changing your point, you make a new paragraph. Now that is again the flow in the mechanics of writing, that how you continue writing. You have to keep the question constantly in the mind, that I am answering to this question, and then only you are doing whatever you are writing. Ultimately, you have to justify that particular question. There is a significant lack of transitional words and phrases, like this moreover, consequently, in contrast, to build a cohesive and logical argument also. So these are some of the errors being identified in your own observations, which are made here. But I hope this is a kind of an activity that we keep on doing every year repeatedly. And we hope that some improvement will come this time also, some kind of improvement, because by only doing it once, we will not be able to see that suddenly the writings are improving. It is a very slow and long process to improve the writing patterns, but this may help you. Being a lifelong learner, you will have to have some tools with you throughout your life. There won't be teachers with you to guide you, that here you are making mistake or this or that. You have to keep on improving your mistakes by your own understanding also. So these tools or this practice can help you, that how you can use that to improve your quality of writing, critical thinking, idea generations everywhere. It can be of great use also. So with this remark, we end our session here.